Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, and good morning, sunshines. Happy Sunday. Let me tell y'all something. I woke up, so listen. I missed YouTube. I missed y'all. I was out of town for a week. And this vacation was not a just all about me vacation. And I could just get one with the universe and enjoy the spaces and places that I resided in. This vacation was supposed to be the 50th celebrate break turn up. But girl, it turned into the 50th celebrate break plus the promotional celebrate break. And I had all of the fun that was to be had. And I was not focused on sharing none of it with y'all. I just was not. I was keeping it to myself because I had my people with me and I just had such a good time. It was so much love. The girls' trip was girling. Vegas was giving everything it needed to give. So much so that your girl passed out because I was doing too much. But because I passed out, we was able to take cuts in the lines at the buffet, child, girl. And we got in on when the buffet switches over from the lunch brunch to dinner. We got to participate in that switch over, girl, because if we would have stayed finished in that line, we wasn't going to make it. So listen, y'all, I had so much fun in Vegas. And let me tell y'all, listen, Usher, if you listen, go. I don't know if he's going to extend the residency beyond October, but if you have not seen Usher at his residency in Vegas, I highly recommend it. There was nothing that it fell short of in any measure. And all the coins that were paid were worth it. Every coin, every dollar, every penny. It was just the best experience ever. I make 5. 4 of my friends and I were able to just love each other, have a good girls trip. And it's like, when we doing this again? That's how I feel. When we doing this again, girl? Because, it's hard to get together with girls. Because, because the girl, listen, you can't travel with everybody. That will test your friendship, girl. But I had a ball. I have no complaints. It was a great, great, great trip, girls trip. And I knew I had got my promotion, y'all, but I was waiting on the paperwork to come through to, announce it to the people on my social medias, all the other social medias. Girl, it came through in Vegas. It was just a perfectly planned trip. Your legs dead, Foxy. Good morning, Foxy and family. Good morning, sunshine. Girl, I lost the whole day. Yesterday, I just lost yesterday. I don't listen. I slept. The only thing I was able to do yesterday, I needed to go get some apples. And I did go shopping. I bought me some pants yesterday. Because, listen, I haven't bought real clothes. After I lost the weight, I bought all Hoochie Mama clothes for the summer. And then I got my promo and I was like, girl, I need some clothes. And I thought I was going to go clothes shopping in Vegas. But my friends, including Foxy, made me go shoe shopping. That's a whole nother story. So I bought clothes yesterday. My size went down a lot. So yeah, I got to keep it there. That's the goal. Hey, and Renee, good morning, sunshine. Happy Sunday. All right. So yes, I was extra with the falling out because what you cannot do is walk 10 miles in Vegas without enough hydration. You will pass out, especially if you got to stand in the buffet line. Girl, that's going to take hours to get through. Don't do it. It's not highly recommended. I made Foxy walk with me, y'all. Her legs are still dead. But we got our walk on in Vegas. Let me tell y'all, if y'all ain't never been to Vegas and you go for your first time, please pack some comfortable walking shoes. Don't try to be cute. Don't try to be cute in Vegas. You will walk miles just because it's Vegas and nothing is close. It seems close, like we're going across the street. You can't just go across the street, girl. You got to go down the block to go up the elevator, escalator that might not work, and it might be some stairs you got to go up, and it's about 100 degrees, and you got to go up and across and down and around, and then don't go inside nowhere because then you're going to get lost on the turnaround of it all. I'm just saying, pack some comfortable shoes. Even if you going to the concert, pack. Don't be cute trying to listen. We stayed at the MGM Grand. The concert was at the MGM Park, which literally is across the street, but not really, girl, not in Vegas. We figured it out. We was like, what we not gonna do is try to be cute at the concert with no cute shoes on. What we gonna do is listen. I wore a cute dress and I wore some comfortable gym shoes to the concert. Ain't nobody got time for all of that. Your feet gonna hurt. Flip-flops are not friendly in Vegas on the concrete in the sunshine. No, ma'am, spam ham or none of those things. It's not giving anything. Walking is a good thing, child, but listen, and Renee, Foxy wasn't ready. Foxy wasn't ready for me. And she wasn't ready for the Vegas heat. I'm used to my foolery. Foxy was not ready for my foolery. Child, no, ma'am. But I wasn't ready. So listen, I'm going to tell y'all how I ended up passing out. So I walked, I did 10 miles. I did 5 miles. I had a bottle of water with me on the way to I went from the MGM Grand to the Stratosphere. I had a bottle of water with me. On the way back, I had drunk it all on the way there. On the way back, I should have and I could have stopped and got me another bottle of water. But I was like, girl, we got this. So I walked all the way back without water. Girl, don't do that. Don't do that. Learn from your girl. Don't make the same mistake twice. Keep water in your hand if you're going to walk Vegas, because the heat is not. I feel like when I ride my bike here, it's hotter. But the consistency of the water in your system in Vegas is absolutely necessary because it's a dry heat, girl, and it's a different kind of heat. So, yeah, I walked back and then I showered and we stood in line at the buffet immediately. An hour of standing in line at the buffet took me out. It just took me out, girl, and I packed, girl. Foxy had to grab your girl. I went down. I went down. I woke up like, what happened? And then, girl, they was like, you okay? I was like, girl, I'm fine. I need to eat. I just need to eat and I need some water. Them people thought I probably was going to sue them. No, man, I was good. If your feet aren't comfortable, your body, girl, listen. You learn that as you get older, and Renee, because what we not going to do is have uncomfortable footages in the old age of it all. That's what we not going to do. Yeah, I usually have water in Renee. I don't know what I was on. I was on some foolery. I was on some Vegas foolery of it all. All right, y'all. I'm trying to get into this book with y'all because my summer vacation is getting cut short by 2 weeks. My new job starts next week. Therefore, I will not be able to be with you guys to finish the 4 books that I want to finish. I was able to finish Seeing Beautiful again, which is good. That was the first book I started with you guys. Because the organized, unorganized chaos of it all, I still have 4 more. So today I wanted to get into, of course, it takes forever to get through one of the chapters in Across That Bridge. I think I can do 2. We'll see. Because I need to go ride my bike today. And then I still want to get through How to Eat and Live Longer, absolutely, before the end of the summer. Gentlewoman, I have a lot more to read in that, so I might save that for during my school year and just focus on that on the weekends, I'm thinking. And then the Mindful Walking, I might be able to finish that too before I go back to work. When I start work, my new job next week. I definitely won't be here on weekdays. I have to go into work now. I don't work from home anymore. So it is a blessing. I'm excited about this new phase of my life and my career. And I'm still going to be on YouTube when I can. Foxy says, Renee, I had on the right shoes, just not used to the walking. Girl, yeah. It was good though. All right, you guys. So today we are in Across That Bridge, John Lewis, Life Lessons and a Vision for Change. This chapter is called Study. Let's go. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And when we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. Thank you, Renee. I am excited, and I will absolutely be sharing my adventures of becoming an assistant principal with you guys. I'm so excited. All I did was I bought shoes so I could run around the building and play with the kids. And I bought, Foxy got me my first charm for my lanyard. A sparkly bitten apple. And I got a Vegas gym shoe because all my shoes are sparkly gym shoes. So I have magic. I'm going to be the magical assistant principal. I'm so excited. All right. Many people believe that because we focused on breaking unjust laws and evil traditions, that our movement was free form, spontaneous, and unrehearsed. Nothing could be further from the truth. We did not just wake up one day and decide to march on Washington or from Selma to Montgomery. We studied, we strategized, we organized, trained, and prepared to take action. Most of what we accomplished grew out of years, decades, and even centuries of groundwork that was laid before most of us, that was laid before most of us were even born. And those at the center of the struggle studied that history and used its wisdom to develop the strategic actions of the movement. I'm going to stop here and ask y'all, have you had water today? Take a sip of water, please. Thank you and very much. From the legacy left by past generations, we gained a significant understanding of how we should forge ahead. It is only through examining history that you become aware of where you stand within the continuum of change. You may find you are the voice crying in the wilderness who will have to walk alone, or you may find only a few devotees who will join you throughout the whole period of your activism. This does not mean your work is not important. It means the part you must play is simply different than those leaders who stand at the front of lines of a mass movement. Every contribution is important to the work of change, and it is only when you study the history of activism that you can perceive what your role may be and how others managed in the same kind of position years and decades before. It is through study and preparation that you can increase the power of your work. Good job, and Renee, I'm gonna have a sip right now. Make sure y'all hydrate, elevate. That's where we at in this season, y'all. Hydration and elevation. Yes. I meet so many ambitious young politicians and leaders who want to jump to the head of the line. They do not know how we arrived at this point in our history as a nation. I'm gonna pause right there because I think about just the instantaneous fame, but that young people this generation is in, or I would say this rising generation is in. On social media, the clicks and the views, on YouTube, the clicks and the views and the likes and the monetization and the community tabs and all of that. Like, jumping to the front of the line, there is a cost to pay. You need to pay your dues before. Like, we live in a generation of, I remember when I had my first dance studio, we had to grind in order to get awards, right? Like, it was tough love. It was, nope, you don't get an award. Nope, you don't get to be first place. And for some reason, this generation now, it's like everybody gets an award. Everybody is a star. Everybody gets to be this. Everybody, like, that's not how the world actually works. There is something to be learned in the dues part of the pain. You learn from growing through the things. If you get instantaneous gratification at every step of the way, what did you actually learn along the way? That quick rise has a quick downfall as well, right? Okay, I'm gonna go back into the book. That's why I can't get through one of these chapters. I said, all right, what party you going to, girl? What kind of party starting at 11 o'clock? I want to go to the party. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm staying home today. I do need to go back to JCPenney's store and get some more clothes, but I'm staying home today. Okay, focus. They do not know how we arrived at this point in our history as a nation, but they believe they should be appointed to lead us into the future. Same thing on YouTube, same thing on social media, Instagram, same thing in the music industry, especially rappers. Like, these young people, rappers, they talk so terribly about the rappers of the 80s and the 90s and this and that, like they're better than everybody. No, you wouldn't be you if you didn't have those people who came before you. They think that because they are educated, articulate, and talented, someone should usher them down the red carpet to a throne of leadership. But real leaders are not appointed. They emerge out of the masses of the people and rise to their forefront through the circumstances of their lives. Either their inner journey or their human experience prepares them to take that role. They do not nominate themselves. They are called into service by a spirit moving through a people that points to them as the embodiment of the cause they serve. Growing up, my family and community were loving and accepting, but the world around us was full of so much hate. There was no NAACP chapter in my community. The organization had been banned in Alabama, so there was no activist community I could engage with to validate my deep sense of frustration and agitation. Most of the people around me, including my parents, did not believe it was constructive to complain about the unfairness of our way of life. They knew it was not right, but they could not see a way to change it. I could not figure a way out either, especially as a child. But in the center of my being, I never stopped looking for one. I was lucky to be born at a peak of activism, just as the wave of change was about to crest in the United States, when gifted leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Jim Lawson, and A. Philip Randolph were all alive and engaged in the same movement. Many of us in the movement were young and impatient, but we studied and prepared ourselves to confront the challenges of our time. And we respected the elder activists whose work charted the path to our future. Some of this was conscious preparation, and the other aspects seemed to involve a kind of divine orchestration that ordered our steps and brought people together from unlikely places to play a role in history. It is important for upcoming activists to study American history as well as political and philosophical thought. It is unlikely that what you hope to accomplish is new. Listen, y'all, there is nothing new. The young people that think that what they're doing is new, it's not, baby. It's not. Study your history. Whatever your craft is, whatever your passion is, study it. Learn about it. You are not the first rapper to rap about what you're rapping about. You are not the first content creator to create content about what you're creating content about. You are not the first person to be able to read the girls down. You are not the first singer to be able to sing to the highest singation of songs. You're just not. That's not how this world works. Everything comes back around. Everything has been done. Learn the rules before you start breaking the rules. Learn the game before you can start playing the game. You will fail if you choose to not learn history. I promise you. Current activism is almost always linked to the history of revolution worldwide, and Americans have a special connection to this legacy because our nation was born out of the struggle against tyranny. So, if we study the story of the civil rights movement, we see that it was not by accident that someone like Martin Luther King Jr. became a great minister at the head of a movement. His is the quintessential example of leadership in the 20th century. In my estimation, so it is important to study how he came to lead. He was born with a gift and placed within a set of circumstances that shaped and polished his talent. Oh, wait, y'all know what? You know what? Listen, let me tell y'all something that really bothers my spirit. The young people that create a narrative of perfection around our historical leaders. I saw some content creators. I didn't listen to it because I don't listen to I try not to listen to or even try to understand when young people go back and want to rewrite history, right? I saw some young people, especially some young ladies, question Martin Luther King's Jr. leadership based on his relationship with his wife. That's how I'm gonna phrase it. That's how I want to frame it. They said because of his relationship within his marriage and his relationship with his wife, their question basically was he really a great leader? Was he really a great man? Could he really have this great legacy? What does that have to do with his legacy of leadership? Whatever his relationship was with his wife and whatever he did within or outside of his marriage, that has nothing to do with his leadership position during the civil rights movement and the legacy that he left behind. When young people do that and they want to pull out one little piece of your life to frame your entire existence, that's problematic. Young people, don't do that. That's not how this works. That's not how history works. All of it. If we gonna do that, we can't even have a constitution. We can't even have, like, none of the laws of this land should hold. Nothing should hold for anybody. Your favorite rapper, your favorite singer, your ex-favorite singer, little bits and pieces of people's presence and their existence is not their wholeness. Stop trying to categorize people on little aspects of their humanity and not their whole being as a person. Okay, that's it. I'm going back. But King did not solely rely on what was bestowed on him. He made a conscious effort to build his merit through academic pursuits. He dressed well, he was articulate and well spoken, but that was not his focus. Those attributes were incidental to his emergence at the forefront of history. His primary concern was always on the substance of injustice. The people of Montgomery, the place where he began his career as the pastor, needed more than polish and shine. They needed someone with a deep understanding of the problems that met them at every turn. It was King's commitment to search for answers to the problems of his people that made him fit for leadership, and it was his heritage that prepared him for it. King was born into the bosom of leadership within a family of prominent ministers, and he lived in the city that would become the headquarters for the struggle of civil rights. When he became co pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in 1960, King was carrying on a legacy, becoming the third generation to helm the church, preceded by his father and maternal grandfather. As Martin Luther King Jr. evaluated the ministers he knew, he noticed that many lacked sophistication and a depth of religious training and academic knowledge. So he determined to center the field with the best training he could attain. He wanted to distinguish himself and take ministry to a more professional level, not simply to become a part of the crowd. He was also an intelligent and curious child who faced the cruel disappointments of racism within an inquiring mind. Most people who are raised under the oppression of social discrimination can recall the exact moment when they realized others saw them as different. King's realization was not unusual. It happened to him as it did for many children when he turned school age. As a toddler, he was fast friends with a little white boy who played near his father's store in King's neighborhood. But once the boys became school age, they were sent to separate schools, and King noticed the boy suddenly stopped coming to play. King was heartbroken. He simply could not understand why his friend didn't visit him anymore. When he asked his parents about his disappointment, they revealed to him the system of discrimination and segregation that surrounded him. Years later, as a young high school student, the irony of winning an oratorical contest wasn't lost on King either. Although his award winning speech was about the paradox of discrimination in a nation where freedom was protected by law and revered in the words of its founding constitution, on the bus trip back to the contest, he and his teacher were made to get up from their seats and stand for 50 miles after some white passengers boarded the bus. King was aggravated by these problems, but not daunted. The intellectual environment surrounding him and the numerous discussions he had overheard and engaged in with his parents and their friends who were scholars, ministers, and businessmen in the Atlanta community gave him a context to wrestle with these issues mentally. He was determined to understand how a religion that commanded him to love could resolve the problems of a people surrounded by hate. He held this question in his mind throughout his entire academic experience and saw his scholarship as an opportunity to search for an answer. He graduated from Morehouse at 19, and by the time he was 23 years old, he held a doctorate in divinity from Boston College and a degree in divinity from Crozer Theological Seminary. He never forgot his purpose or his people in his work, and he used the mandates of graduate research to begin developing his own brand of social gospel. In his quest, he made it a point to study the work of all the major theologians and philosophers who might have had any bearing on his thesis. He also branched out beyond his comfort zone, as any credible scholar would, to study influential ideas of the time that were antithetical to his beliefs, like the work of Marx, Lenin, and Neshwich. He examined every possible angle to find the theological answers to the questions he was asking, and he emerged in his study as a notable student and a compelling scholar. I was looking today. Y'all, I started my doctorate degree and I feel like I need to finish. And the only reason I don't want to finish is because I don't want to pay for it. So I've been looking for fellowships. And I don't want to pay for it because, listen, I'm sick of being in debt. I want to get out of debt. sooner than later. But I really want to finish my doctorate degree. So pray for you, girl, for some guidance in that area. I really do want to finish it. And I think with the promotion that I just got and the district and everything that's happening, I think it's time. I want somebody else to pay for it. Honestly, that's my only holdup. The studying doesn't. I can do that. I just don't want to pay for it. I don't. I don't. So keep me in your prayers, please. I'm working on that part. One day, he heard that Mordecai Johnson, the esteemed president of Howard University and also a minister, Morehouse graduate, and a gifted public speaker, was lecturing in Philadelphia. King decided to travel from Boston to hear Johnson speak. It was there that he heard the name Mohandas Gandhi for the first time. King was electrified by Johnson's discussion of the nonviolent revolution in India. And when he returned from the outing, he read everything he could find on Gandhi. Child and Renee, it is so expensive. And it's such an underpaid field being an educator. They don't pay us enough, but then they want us to have all the degrees and all the letters, right? But they don't pay us the stuff that we invest in our brains. They don't pay us for that part. Hey, Gordo Poppy. Good morning, sunshine. I missed you, boo. I can't wait to see one of your lives. All right, let's get back into the book. His testament and philosophy were the critical missing links that helped King formulate an American strategy for overcoming segregation. Once he discovered these ideas, he could have taught them in the protection of an ivory tower of a university. He certainly had enough offers to stay in the North and inspire the intellectual achievements of his students. But given the choice, he decided to return to the South to avail himself of the opportunity to participate in the struggle and put these notions to the test. He was aware that he was choosing between security and the likelihood that struggle would mean trouble, but he felt the imperative to practice what he would preach. So when the people of Montgomery called him to the forefront to serve as the leader of the boycott, he had done his share of studying, had reflected on an American approach to protest steeped in a deep legacy and theology that crossed the boundaries of nations and faiths, even at the young age of 26. It took 23 years for King to prepare himself to be the kind of outstanding minister that others have spent a lifetime trying to emulate. His command in the profession was rooted in more than just training. There was also a deep respect for the legacy that preceded him. I'm going to take a pause right here. One of the things that I've learned in my big number age about church and ministers, because I saw some stuff about a minister recently who was held up and they took his jewelry, right? Ministers are human beings. You have to learn to be mindful and use discernment about the ministers that you allow to minister to your spirit. We all have the ability to read the Bibles for ourselves. Please, y'all, read if the Bible, the Quran, whatever your holy book is, the Torah, whatever it is, read it for yourself. Please, please, please. I view church as school. You go to church to get the lesson, but you should read the book that the lesson is coming from for yourself. It is an interpretation. And before you pour your resources into these institutions, into these churches, please make sure. There is no perfect minister. There is no perfect human being. But please make sure that that institution is about ministry, the work that it takes to elevate a community. That is what a church should be for. It is not about the elevation of the minister. The minister is a human being, the minister is a personage. A church should be about community. If your church is not building community, it is not pouring into the community at large or on any scale, please, y'all, just be mindful. I can't tell you where to go get the word. I am an unchurched sinner. We are all sinners. I am an unchurched sinner, but I've read the word. I believe in the word. Read it for yourself. Find a place that will pour into your soul, that will pour into your spirit, and that will not try to deplete your pocketbook. And or, let me tell you this too, because I am a fan. I'm going to tell y'all one of my channels that I listen to, Sinful the P. He has lived in the ministry part of life. He has also lived in the sinful part of life. If your church makes you comfortable all the time, it's not helping you. A church is supposed to grow you. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in the uncomfortable places in life. If every single thing is a praise party and every single thing feels good to you, please, y'all, find a new place to pour into you. If you don't ever feel like you was pinched and the minister was talking directly to you, but he don't know you or she don't know you, y'all, please don't just go for the praise and worship. Don't just go for the it's all good all the time and I'm right. If you know you are living outside of the will of God and you go to church and you don't ever feel like the minister talk to you directly, that minister is not there to try to help your spirit and your soul. Growth comes from the uncomfortable places. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna get back into the book. Hey, learning! I missed you, boo. Good morning, sunshine! Yay! Learning, you missed it. I got the promo. Yes, girl. Yes. Your girl is, listen, my summer vacation is cut short. It is over. I start my new job next week, girl. Yes, girl. Yes. It is good news. It is good news. Absolutely. And I just got back from Vegas where we absolutely celebrated all of the goodness. Absolutely. Yay. Thank you, boo. Thank you. It has been a whirlwind. This was the most top secret interview process, promotion process. Girl, it's been good. It's been such a blessing. I learned so much, though. One day I'm going to tell, well, I don't think I can tell y'all about it. Shoot, I had to sign a whole confidentiality agreement, girl. It was good, though. I learned so much. Vegas was awesome. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at the end. Okay, let me finish, y'all. I don't think I'm gonna get through 2 chapters, y'all. We already at 45 minutes. I try, y'all know I try to keep it under, at least an hour. So learning. I know you usually be here with me in the mornings. So next week or this week, not next week, because this is a new week starting today. This week is my last morning of being able to go live early because I start the new job. So I'm trying. I did finish Seeing Beautiful Again. I finished that last Sunday, and I've been putting those independent chapters up. I will have those finished the end of this week. All 50 of those independent chapters or devotions are going to be up. And then the other 4 books that I started, I'm going to try to finish 3 of them this week. And then the Gentle Woman, I will probably move that one to the weekends. So So yeah, so this will be my last full week of being able to go live. I know, right? Learning, I'm sad too. And I couldn't play with y'all while I was in Vegas because, girl, it was a girls' trip. It wasn't like Mexico. I was all over the place. I was not trying to be focused on YouTube while I was in Vegas like I did in Mexico. It was just different. Yes, catch the premieres, girl. Catch the premieres. But the other Seeing Beautiful Again, if you go to last Sunday, if you want to get it all at once, it's on there. And then I talked about the promotion on there too. I was assistant principal that day. So, yes, I am officially going to be an assistant principal. The babies get to have all my crazy in one place. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. All right, let's get back into the book. Hold on. Why is my daughter coming up the stairs? How may I help you on? I'm on YouTube Live. What do you want? Do y'all hear her walking up my stairs? Oh, I thought it was my daughter. Hello, Boogaloo. When'd you get home?
I just got here.
Say hi to the people.
Who is the people?
On YouTube.
How much people is
it? Right now, there are 7 people watching me. Can I get a hug? How was the concert? My son went to a concert last night, y'all. He went. Who was it? Chris Brown and Lil Baby.
Yes.
How was it?
We got backstage.
Because
what you call it?
Cause what? Cause
Sierra and Mark know them.
Cause what?
Sierra and Mark know them.
See, who are Sierra and Mark?
My sister.
Oh, okay. And so then what?
I'll tell you about it when you get off there.
My boogaloo went to a concert last night, y'all. All right, anyway. That's the boogaloo. That's the boogaloo. Thank you, Learning. Yes, I am excited. And listen, so Learning, listen. We got the I knew I had got the promotion before I went to Vegas, right? I got the phone call from Human Resources Learning. But then I didn't want to put it, like I was able to talk about it on YouTube just because, but I didn't want to put it like on my social media, which is my Facebook. That's where all my people are. I didn't want to put it on there until I got the notification and signed the actual document to tell me, right? So Monday, when we got to Vegas, we were shoe shopping. And I checked my email while we were sitting there trying on shoes, and the email came through, girl. Oh, and I got the wonderful thing about technology is that I was able to sign my contract while I was sitting in Vegas trying on shoes and send it back. And we got, yes, Foxy they got the footages of me. Hey, Boogaloo. Yes, and that's my Boogaloo, girl. That's my Boogaloo. We got the footages of when the incoming email came and I signed it in the shoe department at Dillard's trying on the shoe. It was so much fun. When I tell y'all this, it was such like, it was all God. Like, it was just an amazing. This has been turning 50, this whole turning 50 experience part of life, y'all. I feel like I am in a dream bubble. That's exactly how I feel. This is like, it was all a dream in my Biggie voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just been God amazing. It's been amazing. And I love being able to share aspects of it with you guys on YouTube. We got to show the footages. Well, Foxy is going to do a video. I didn't really do a lot of pictures or videos in Vegas. I think Foxy did all of that. Somewhere between Foxy and my other friend. Foxy is probably going to upload a video. So it'll be on Foxy's channel. Probably not mine. Unless we upload it on StreamYard, Foxy. And then that way I can put it on my channel and you can put it on yours. We'll see. We'll figure that part out later. But I'm not doing none of that. Okay, y'all, back into the book. And then I got to go get the gossip from my son about being backstage at the concert. All right. I'm going to start this paragraph over. It took 23 years for King to prepare himself to be the kind of outstanding minister that others have spent a lifetime trying to emulate. His command in the profession was rooted in more than just training. There was also a deep respect for the legacy that preceded him. He did not discard that heritage as the wisdom of another age, but he drew upon that history of his faith and the proven philosophies of protest to build his understanding. Yet, his respect for the past did not offer King satisfaction with the status quo. He added to his profession by reaching for new experiences, taking advantage of educational opportunities outside of the comfort zone of what he knew and had witnessed in Atlanta. In King, we see the virtue of patience at work. He took his time and did his research as he evolved into the man he wanted to become. He also had faith in the hand of the divine to use him in all he had garnered at the appropriate time and place. He never clamored to be rich, famous, the best dressed, or the most articulate, but he had a vision of how he wanted to serve and he moved toward that vision. He studied, prepared, and readied himself so that he was the most able servant available. Oh, you don't know Foxy's channel? And Renee, here. Let me drop it for you, boo. We gotta drop Foxy's channel in the chat. I usually drop the channels in the morning. I mean, before I go live, y'all. I just didn't have time. I was out of order this morning because I wasn't gonna go live. Listen, let me tell y'all what happened this morning. Hey, Kimber, boo. What's good morning, sunshine? So this morning when I woke up, so our flight from Vegas got, this is why I can't get through one chapter, because when I get into this book, I be all up in the chat. I'm just nosy right now, right? Okay, so this morning when I got in, no, not this morning. We got in yesterday morning, but we flew out of Vegas at midnight. Vegas is 3 hours behind Michigan. So we flew out at midnight Vegas time, which was 3 o'clock in the morning in Detroit. Long story short, something like that, child. I don't know. Don't get my brain waves confused, because I woke up confused this morning. I got in yesterday morning at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I was so tired. I took a nap, took a nap, woke up, didn't know if I needed to eat breakfast, have coffee, eat dinner. It was such a confusing Saturday all the way around. The only thing I was able to do yesterday, I did go to the grocery store, I got me some apples, and then I came back. I went did a little bit of shopping. Then I came home and went right back to sleep. I slept all day yesterday. All day yesterday, I slept. When I woke up this morning, y'all, I thought it was Monday morning. Like literally. I thought it was Monday for about an hour. I made my coffee, had my apple. I was like, okay, I gotta focus because I gotta respond to emails and da 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 da. And then I sat down at my desk and I was like, I looked at the calendar. I was like, it's not Monday, girl. It's Sunday. Child, I was like, okay, focus. I had to retrain my brain. Like, okay, you still got another day to get your life right. So yeah. So that's Foxy's channel. So our footages in Goody's voice. We gotta watch the footages. If y'all not on my girl Goody, watch the Penthouse podcast. The footages are going to be on Foxy's channel. Our Las Vegas footages will be on Foxy and Family's channel, not on my channel. All right. Yeah, Foxy took a different flight. You got in 6:30. I was so like yesterday was a blur. Like I just slept. I ate. Let me tell y'all though. Well, hello, Snuggles. Good morning. It's good to see you here. What you looking at? It's not available. Okay, maybe I got the wrong link. Hold on. Let me go find the right link. Make sure I got my girl's stuff properly posted. Give me a second to go find Foxy's channel. And then we got to finish the book. All right. Foxy and Family. Give me 1 second. Okay, try it now, M. Renee. Try it now. See if that works for you. We got to get Foxy to 100 subscribers too, so she can get her own channel name. She's more than halfway there. So let's help my girl. Yeah, we're gonna put all of the Vegas footages are going to be on Foxy and Family's channel. Let me change that on my playlist too, because it must not be working properly. Undo that. And let me redo that here. Okay. All right. What have I not been doing? I've been doing all the things. I do all of the things, Snuggles. That's my thing. I do all of the things. All right, you guys, we're gonna finish up. And Renee, did it work? Let me know if it worked, and Renee, before I get back into the book. Let me know if it worked so we can get my girl. So y'all can be over there for the footages of Vegas and all of the shenanigans. Foxy says she's going to upload the Vegas today. All of the things. All of the things. Foxy, let me know. Are you going to go live and premiere it? You know what, Foxy? Come to my house so I can help you set it up. Come to my house so I can help you set it up. You got it, Renee? I don't know why the link isn't working. I pulled that straight from her channel, but I'm glad you found it. Okay, let's keep going. All right, the story of King's Road to Leadership reflects the power of study to prepare the mind to command a people and leave a lasting legacy. The refinements of his academic preparation tend to overshadow the role that the Spirit played in his ascent to becoming a civil rights icon. Even though there is no question that King could never have become the symbol of a nonviolent revolution without a calling from the Spirit, that is what gave him the power to minister to a people and a nation. Some people are tracked down by what I call the spirit of history to play a role in the evolution of humankind. My experience stands as a striking contrast to King's very steady, visible path to leadership. In my case, it's hard to draw a straight line that defines exactly how I became a lead. My story shows how the Spirit can order a person's step. It can pluck him or her from the most unlikely place to stand on the front lines of change. As a child, I grew up around people others may have viewed as poor or impoverished, but these people were actually rich in character and rich in faith. They may have been denied the most basic material resources, but they did not lack the drive. No matter what life affords you in material goods, you can rise above any circumstances through your adherence to high standards and a commitment to following the lead of your own spirit. Having values and holding on to our beliefs is what got us through, and it's what will get you through. I never felt I was the underdog. I never felt that I was poor or deprived. I discovered that after I left my parents' farm, that other people viewed me as country or poor, but it was never how I saw myself. And that is just to remind us, no matter what other people see you as or call your name as, you have the power to be what you think of yourself and what you call yourself. And it was never due to any self-defeating notion my parents or my community passed on to me. My upbringing, my community, my faith gave me confidence because it was not based on an external definition or of our value. We knew we were children of the divine, so we believed in our own worth. Regardless, what the world might say. I went to school, but unlike King, I could only go sporadically because there were times the fields had to be planted or harvested. The only money the local government contributed to the schooling of Black children in Alabama was the teacher's salary. A financially strapped Black community had to pay for everything else. We used old, hand me down textbooks the whites no longer needed, and just one teacher was responsible for educating students in several different grades. Thank you, Kimber. Yes, sunshine. I feel like I need to have a celebration party. I might do that. I think I might do that. Just to, give you guys some context as to who I am as an educator. I think that will be good. I think that, let me see. I got to figure out how I can package it. Cause I be trying not to tell y'all too much, cause it's some people who need medication on YouTube who just won't let you have a YouTube life and a personal life, even when you want to share. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sharing our journeys and our experiences as human beings, it can really help people. I have not had a straight life in my career, and I've had several different careers. Education is my foundation, but I have been able to live in different spaces. And I would love to share that even on YouTube, because there's something to help somebody else at a younger or earlier space in their career or in their where they're trying to grow to, and it can help. So I'm gonna write this down: celebration of the promomo. I got to figure out how to package it and do it. Cause I'm not one of the ones who can turn on the mic and just, chop it up with y'all. That's not my thing. That's not my ministry. I have to have a lesson plan. I have to have the choreography worked out in my head and brain before I come before y'all, before I come before the people. So I got to think about it, Kimber. But yes, I would love to do that. I think that would be fun. So let me work it out and figure it out. And maybe next week, before I have to actually go into the office, I can figure that out. So I'll figure it out. Back into the book. When I was 15 years old, the bus boycott was unfolding in Montgomery, 40 miles away from my home. Our family could not afford a newspaper subscription, but my grandfather had one. So I would read his paper, hungry for information. I was anxious to learn about any action taken to defend our dignity. And then one day, on an old radio, I heard the voice of Martin Luther King Jr. I could tell he was a young man from the South, just like me. He was preaching about the responsibility of Christians to respond to the injustices of segregation. He was delivering the message I had prayed to hear. He was answering the gnawing questions in my soul, struggling to find a way out. King had found a way, and it was consistent with my dream to see the power of love manifest more than anything, to see hate eradicated and wrong made right. When I heard King, it was as though a light turned on in my heart. When I heard his voice, I felt he was talking directly to me. From that moment on, I decided I wanted to be just like him. I immediately wrote to New York to join a chapter of the NAACP, since Alabama did not have one, and to this day, I am a member of the New York chapter. One day, my brother brought home a brochure describing American Baptist Theology Seminary in Nashville, ABT. I wanted to go to King's alma mater, Morehouse, but my grades weren't good enough, and we couldn't afford it. ABT, however, offered an undergraduate program for aspiring ministers that allows students to work their way through college. I knew immediately that it was a place for me. Little did I know being in Nashville would position me at the heart of nonviolent activism, or that I would have the opportunity to work alongside the man I deeply admired. I couldn't anticipate what the future would hold. At that time, I was just following my heart, my desire to do something, and somehow, some way, the Creator ordered my steps and placed me right where I needed to be to play a role in the work for change. When I arrived in Nashville, people thought I was backward, country, and shy. My resources were few, but my ability to commune with the spirit and allow myself to be guided by it propelled me to the center of change. I did not have the kind of material and intellectual resources that King had. Instead, mine was a kind of inner preparation, a silent communication with a higher power that is still a part of my daily life today. Okay, listen, y'all. That's how I feel about getting this promotion. I absolutely have the education. I absolutely have the experience. I just don't feel I'm the best interviewer, and I don't always feel like I am politically correct in the places that I reside in. That's how I'm going to phrase that. But when he said this right here, my ability to commune with the spirit and allow myself to be guided by it, I know for sure that is my superpower. That is my magic. I can do that in a classroom with kids and students. Give me a professional development to administer and to guide and lead. That is my superpower. The ability to commune with the spirit and allow myself to be guided by it. Y'all, my adherence to the inner voice allowed me to participate in a movement for good. I say this to let you know that preparation can take many different forms. Not everyone has left a family legacy as rich as Martin Luther King's Jr.'s, because I am a first generation college graduate, so I definitely understand this, or has the same gifts and privileges. But there is a power that can raise you up even from the lowliest of places and guide you to the forefront of change if you truly want to create a better world. It's not the action, not the fruit of the action that's important. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power, may not be in your time that there'll be any fruit. But that doesn't mean you stop doing the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action. But if you do nothing, there will be no result. Mohandas Gandhi. What we accomplished back then is directly connected to many of the advances we see today. The activists of today have no need to reinvent the wheel. There is a lineage of struggle in America and around the world that can be used as a source of inspiration and instruction by anyone who is seriously interested in confronting the highest levels of power to make change. In my travels to England, India, Germany, South Africa, as well as through reports from Ireland, Japan, and Russia, I have met people involved in their own indigenous struggles who say they study the books and films documenting the civil rights movement intensely to glean strategy and principles of activism to use in their own societies. It is no accident that the young people of Egypt could be heard chanting words we began using in protest on the streets in America 40 years prior. When I heard the citizens in Tahrir Square shouting, "The people united will never be defeated," it made me feel so good to see the seeds we planted decades ago were blossoming in another form. I was proud that the people of Egypt held to nonviolent principles, regardless of the brutality they faced. Later, I read that Dalia Zaida, the Egypt director of the American Islamic Congress, was responsible for resurrecting a comic book we used extensively in the movement. On the cover was a drawing of Martin Luther King Jr., a Montgomery bus, and the dome of the Alabama State Capitol. The AIC did their own research, found the comic book, and had it translated into Arabic to help spread the message and means of nonviolent protest throughout the masses of citizens gathered in Tahrir Square. They distributed 2,000 copies of the comic book across Egypt. 50 years ago, the Fellowship of Reconciliation distributed 250,000 throughout America. I invited Zaida to come to my office, and she gave me a copy of that comic book. She also told me that Egyptian students had received nonviolence training based on the training we received from Jim Lawson and others in the movement, except theirs was managed by Serbian dissidents who had used those tactics to create change in their own society. An international network of student activists had developed worldwide, and they were training, teaching, and preparing one another in a way that ultimately became the Arab Spring. And then those seeds were regerminated in America so that the actions of the people in the Middle East gave the people of Wisconsin courage to occupy the state house. And they, in turn, gave courage to those who decided to begin the occupancy movement in the United States. And now we see waves of change shifting and moving across international boundaries based on a common understanding of how peaceful protests can create change. Study and preparation created this movement. Have a good day, Foxy and family. I'll see you later. Each uprising of the people informs and seeds the others, especially in the age of the internet. In Tunisia, word of an act of righteous indignation, a vendor who set himself on fire to protest the unjust confiscation of his property spread like wildfire over Facebook and ultimately ended the regime of a tyrant. During the civil rights movement, we didn't have the internet. We did have iPhones. I'm sorry, we did not have iPhones or computers. We didn't even have fax machines. We had no power of celebrity, no money, but we had ourselves. So we used what we had. We put our bodies on the line for simple justice and social change. We did all we could, and by the power of grace, it was enough to create transformation. Our poise was not founded on money, breeding, or education, but rather on the spiritual lineage and unbreakable connection to the divine. What we could not muster was added through a grace that never failed, a stream of consciousness that was never interrupted by external circumstance. The Spirit adds what we cannot offer to an end result that is more in keeping with the dictates of the universe. Any activist must have faith in his spiritual legacy, that in the work of change, we are not alone, but there are forces that assist us and act in concert with us. I will never forget our march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Before we met the sea of blue Alabama state troopers on the other side, we walked two by two, totally in faith, not knowing what our end would be. We were silent, just 600 of us walking in a quiet persistence. To me, it felt like a holy march, to solemn, so reverent, so filled with unity and purpose. Though in the pictures we took so alone, I felt like there was a band of brothers and sisters, the seen and the unseen, who marched with us. Our spirits joined with others through the ages who had determined to stand for justice, and they were also there. Had it not been for the struggles and sacrifices of the 1950s and 60s, Barack Obama would never have been elected president of the United States. In turn, were we not inspired by the advancements of Mohandas Gandhi in South Africa and India? The organizing tactics developed by the labor movement in the early decades of the 20th century, as well as a commitment to nonviolence sealed in Europe during the first days of World War I, the American history we participated in creating would have been entirely different and maybe much less influential. Every generation leaves behind a legacy. What that legacy will be is determined by the people of that generation. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Your generation will have new leaders and will use different methods of struggle, but the purpose will be the same. You will be marching toward the next visionary horizon with the radiance of faith and truth, preparing the way for peace and reconciliation, building a highway that channels the almighty power of love as a guiding force in all the affairs of humankind. And your soul will join with those souls who have struggled for freedom from the dawn of humanity. It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an idea or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Robert F. Kennedy. I want to thank you all for being here today. I am so excited to be back on the YouTube, at least for a couple of few more lives. Thank you all for the congratulations. I am very excited about the next chapter and journey in my career, in my life. And I'm going to figure out how to celebrate on the YouTubes with you guys. I love you all. Thank you. Have a blessed and have a wonderful Sunday. I love you and I'll see you soon. Mwah.